गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्बा त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः। प्रपन्नपारिजाताय तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः। पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथासम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च। मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनम्। गीतासु गीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता। भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव। एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणीन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु सावित्री भगिनी।
अत्र पञ्चश्लोकाः सन्ति सर्वं पठामि वा?
You first read and Pratipadartha and Pratipadartha until Pratipadartha you read, and others next person will read.
Okay, thank you. अमानित्वम् अदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिरार्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्मं मृत्युजरा दुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् अनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहानिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् उपपत्तिषु मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेश सेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनमसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानम् एतदोऽन्यथा आत्मनि त्वम् अदम्भित्वम् आत्मनित्वम् अदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिः आर्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कारः एव च जन्ममृत्युजराव्याधिः दुःखरोषानुदर्शनम् असक्तिः अनभिष्वङ्गः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु नित्यं च समचित्तत्वम् इष्टानिष्टः उपपत्तिषु मयि च अन्ययोगेन भक्तिः अव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं अतो अन्यथा
अतः अन्यथा
आत्मनि आत्मनित्वम् sorry, I'm sorry. अमानित्वम् नपुंसकलिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनम् अदम्भित्वं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं नपुंसकलिंगम् अहिंसा स्त्रीलिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं शान्तिः इकारान्तः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं आर्जवं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं आचार्योपासनं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं शौचं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं स्थैर्यं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं सर्वमपि नपुंसकलिङ्गे अस्ति आत्मनिग्रहः पुल्लिङ्गं
आत्मविनिग्रहः
आत्मविनिग्रहः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनम् इन्द्रियार्थेषु सप्तमी विभक्ति बहुवचनं वैराग्यं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं अनहङ्कारः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं एव च अव्ययं जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधिषु व्याधिः जन्म
व्याधि दुःख दोष अनुदर्शनम् all of that is
all
one
of
word.
one word. Oh. द्वितीया विभक्ति एकवचनं आसक्तिः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनम् इकारान्त स्त्रीलिंग अनभिष्वङ्गः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं पुत्रदार गृहादिषु सप्तमी विभक्ति बहुवचनं नित्यम् अव्ययं च अव्ययं समचित्तत्वं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनम् इष्टानिष्टः प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं उपपत्तिषु सप्तमी विभक्ति बहुवचनं मयि सप्तमी विभक्ति एकवचनं च अव्ययम् अन्ययोगेन
अनन्य
च अनन्ययोगेन च अनन्ययोगेन तृतीया विभक्ति एकवचनं
भक्तिः सेपरेट
भक्तिः इकारान्त स्त्रीलिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं अव्यभिचारिणी स्त्रीलिंगं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं विविक्तदेश सेवित्वं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं अतिर्जनसंसदि
aratihi and then janasamsadi, those are two different words.
Arati janasamsadi. Arati. One second. Arati इकारन्त स्त्रीलिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं जनसंसदि that's also इकारन्त स्त्रीलिंग
no सप्तमी
विभक्ति एकवचनं अध्यात्म ज्ञान नित्यत्वं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थ दर्शनं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं एतज्ज्ञानम् इति एतज्ज्ञानं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं इति अव्ययं प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं
प्रोक्तं सेपरेट अज्ञानं सेपरेट
प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं प्रोक्तं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं अज्ञानं प्रथमा विभक्ति एकवचनं
यत् नपुंसक प्रथमा एकवचनं
नपुंसक प्रथमा एकवचनं अनन्यथा
अतः is अव्ययम् अन्यथा is also अव्ययम्
यत् प्लस अतः अन्यथा
again tat is there, that is also napumsaka prathama ekavachanam. Okay, so now let Alivelu Bhagini read the Pratipadartham, and one correction is Ishtanishta Upapattishu is all one word.
Ishtanishta Upapattishu, one word. Okay.
आं भगिनि पदार्थः अमानित्वम् आत्मश्लाघाराहित्यम् अदम्भित्वं दम्भभावः अहिंसा अपीडनं क्षान्तिः सहनम् आर्जवम् अवक्रत्वम् आचार्योपासनं गुरुसेवा इन्द्रियार्थेषु इन्द्रियविषयेषु वैराग्यम् अप्रीतिः अनहङ्कारः अभिमानशून्यत्वम् अशक्तिः अनासक्तिः जन्ममृत्युजराव्याधिदोषानुदर्शनम् जननमरणवृद्धत्वरोगदुःखेषु दोषावलोकनम् पुत्रदारगृहादिषु तनया भार्या निवासादिषु अनभिष्वङ्गः अनभिनिवेशः इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु अभीष्टद्विष्ट वस्तुप्राप्तिषु नित्यं सदा समचित्तत्वं समानमनस्कत्वं मयि परमात्मनि अनन्ययोगेन एकाग्रचित्तेन अव्यभिचारिणि अनपायिनि जनसंसदि जनसमावाये विविक्तदोषसेवित्वम् विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् एकान्तदेशसेवनम् अरतिः अप्रीतिः अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं सर्वदा आत्मविषयकं चिन्तनं ज्ञानं ज्ञानसाधनं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनं सत्यज्ञानफलविचारणं प्रोक्तं कथितम् अन्यथा विपर्ययेण अन्वयः अमानित्वम् अदम्भित्वम् अहिंसा क्षान्तिः आर्जवम् आचार्योपासनं शौचं स्थैर्यम् आत्मविनिग्रहः इन्द्रियार्थेषु वैराग्यम् अनहङ्कार एव च जन्ममृत्युजराव्याधिदुःखदोषानुदर्शनम् अशक्तिः पुत्रदारगृहादिषु अनभिष्वङ्गः इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तिषु नित्यं समचित्तत्वं च मयि च अनन्ययोगेन अव्यभिचारिणी भक्तिः च विविक्तदेशसेवित्वं जनसंसदि अरतिः अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतत् ज्ञानम् इति प्रोक्तम् अतः अन्यथा यत् तत् अज्ञानम्। तात्पर्यमपि पठामि भगिनि।
तात्पर्यमपि पठतु।
अस्तु। तात्पर्यम् आत्मश्लाघराहित्यं दम्भभावः अपीडनं क्षमा अवक्रत्वं गुरुशुश्रूषा शुद्धिः धृतिः शरीरेन्द्रियनिग्रहः इन्द्रियविषयेषु अप्रीतिः अहङ्कारशून्यत्वं जननमरणजरारोगदुःखेषु दोषावलोकनम् अनासक्तिः तनयभार्यानिवासादिषु अनभिनिवेशः अभीष्टनिष्टवस्तुप्राप्तिषु सदा समानमनस्कत्वं परमात्मनि एकाग्रचित्तेन अनपायिनी भक्तिः एकान्तप्रदेशसेवा जनसमवाये अप्रीतिः सर्वदा आत्मविषयस्य अनुसन्धानं तत्त्वज्ञानफलस्य मोक्षस्य प्राप्यत्वेन विचारणम् एतत् ज्ञानसाधनम् इति कथितम्। अस्मात् अन्यत् यदस्ति तत् ज्ञानसाधनं न इति प्रोक्तम्।
अस्तु भगिनि।
माध्वमतम्। ओके अस्तु भगिनि, धन्यवादः।
धन्यवादः। सूर्या भगिनी माधवमतम् एंड रामानुजीयमतम्।
శ్రీవాణి గారి పేజ్ నంబర్ అండి
138 ఐదో పుస్తకం.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
మాధ్వమతం ఆత్మను శ్లాఘనరహితత్వం ఆత్మాల్పత్వజ్ఞానేన మహత్వ ప్రదర్శనాభావః సహిష్ణుత్వం సన్మార్గే మనోవాక్కాయ కర్మణాం అవైపరీత్యం జ్ఞానినాం సేవా బాహ్యాంతరశుద్ధిః భయాదిన స్వధర్మాచర అచలనం విశేషతః మనసః నియమనంచ జ్ఞాన సాధనాని ఇతి కథ్యంతే. విషయపదార్థేషు రాగాభావః ఆత్మని అవిద్యమానేషు గుణేషు అభిమానమోహభావః
मोह अभावः. So that dirgham should be there.
गुणेषु अभिमानमोहाभावः जन्मादिषु दुःखदोषयोः अनुक्षणम् अनुसन्धानं ज्ञानसाधनमित्युच्यते. तत्त्वज्ञानसम्पादने नित्यप्रवृत्तिः तदर्थं शास्त्राद्यर्थ
पर्यालोचनं
पर्यालोचनञ्चोक्ति
चेति
चेति
ज्ञानोपायः
ज्ञानोपाय इत्युच्यते। एतद्विरुद्ध अर्थाः अज्ञानसाधनानि भवन्ति। रामानुजनयमतम् आध्यात्मज्ञानम्
अध्यात्मज्ञानम्
आत्मनि ज्ञानम्।
अनन्तरम् अल्लिराणि भगिनी।
भगिनी नमस्कारः।
नमस्कारः।
रामानुजीय मतम् अध्यात्मज्ञानम् आत्मनि ज्ञानं व्याकरणं मानः अस्य अस्मिन् वा अस्ति इति वाणी मतुपर्थे इनिः न मानी अमानी नैतत्पुरुषः तस्य भावः अमानित्वं भावार्थे त्वप्रत्ययः दम्भः अस्य अस्मिन् वा अस्ति इति दम्भी मतुपर्थे इनि न दम्भी अदम्भी न तत्पुरुषः तस्य भावः अदम्भित्वं भावार्थे त्वप्रत्ययः न हिंसा हिंसा नैतत्पुरुषः आचार्यस्य उपासनम् आचार्योपासनं नष्टि तत्पुरुषः आत्मनः विनिग्रहः आत्मविनिग्रहः नष्टि तत्पुरुषः इन्द्रियाणाम् इन्द्रियार्थाः तेषु इन्द्रियार्थेषु नष्टि तत्पुरुषः न अहङ्कारः अनहङ्कारः नैतत्पुरुषः जन्म च मृत्युश्च जरा च व्याधिश्च दुःखञ्च जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःखानि द्वन्द्वः जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःखेषु दोषः जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःखदोषः सप्तमी तत्पुरुषः जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःखदोषस्य अनुदर्शनं जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि दुःखदोषानुदर्शनं षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः न शक्तिः असक्तिः न तत्पुरुषः न अभिष्वङ्गः अनभिष्वङ्गः न तत्पुरुषः पुत्राश्च दाराश्च गृहं च पुत्रदारागृहाणि द्वन्द्वः पुत्रदारगृहाणि आदिः येषां ते पुत्रदारगृहादयः तेषु बहुव्रीहिः समं चित्तं येषां ते समचित्ताः बहुव्रीहिः तेषां भावः समचित्तत्वं भावार्थे त्वप्रत्ययः इष्टञ्च अनिष्टञ्च इष्टानिष्टे द्वन्द्वः इष्टानिष्टयोः उपपत्तयः इष्टानिष्टोपपत्तयः तेषु षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः अन्यस्मिन् योगः अन्ययोगः सप्तमी तत्पुरुषः न अन्ययोगः अनन्ययोगः तेन नैतत्पुरुषः व्यभिचारः अस्यां वा अस्तीति व्यभिचारिणी मतुपर्थे इनिः न व्यभिचारिणी अव्यभिचारिणी नैतत्पुरुषः विविक्तदेव देशः विविक्तदेशः विविक्तः देशः विविक्तदेशः कर्मधारयः विविक्तदेशं सेवते तच्छीलः इति विविक्तदेशसेवी तच्छीत कर्तरिणिः उपपत्तु समासश्च तस्य भावः वियुक्तदेशसेवित्वं भावार्थप्रत्ययः न रतिः आरतिः नैतत्पुरुषः जनानां जनसंसत् तस्यां षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः आत्मनि इति अध्यात्मम् अव्ययी भावः अध्यात्मं ज्ञानम् अध्यात्मज्ञानं सप्तमी तत्पुरुषः अध्यात्मज्ञाने नित्यत्वम् अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं सप्तमी तत्पुरुषः.
Okay. So, in the last class, we were discussing about the Sharira. How Sharira should be used as a sadhana to attain moksha and travel in the right path. We may or may not be able to attain moksha in this janma, but the journey should be moving forward. And why is this Sharira there? This Sharira is not just a material object. It is a sadhana, and it is also made of So to be able to understand that we have to use this Sharira as a sadhana, we should also understand the Tattvam of the Sharira, what it is, the gunas of the Sharira. What is it made out of? And what are the things that can affect it? All this we should be able to understand. Only then we will be able to differentiate the Sharira from the Atma, Jivatma. So Sharira, we discussed that Sharira is made out of the Mahabhutani, the Pancha Mahabhutani, Ahankaram, Buddhi, Mula Prakriti, the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Manas. All of these are part of the Sharira. And we also discussed that there will be Ichcha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham also will be there as part of the Sharira. And some of these are Bhautika, some can be Manasika. Not all are Bhautika. All these together, the Sanghata of all these together will become the Sharira. Right? So, and the Atma to this Sharira is different. How we also made a comparison, like how there can be a palace which has everything in it, and then there will be a king in that palace, but a king is not part of the palace. So when we say palace, only the palace comes to our mind. What are all the things that a palace can have? It will have very rich buildings and rooms and decorative items and so many people serving, like elephants, horses, all these will be there. But it will never come to us that a king is part of the palace. King is separate. He's a separate entity. The palace is a separate entity. Though the palace is to serve the king, whatever duties a king has to perform, in order to be able to perform them, he needs this palace. But definitely a palace is not something that exists along with a king, right? So it is not a part of it. So king is not part of a palace. Similarly, though we need this Sharira to be used as a sadhana to attain whatever we want in the spiritual path, we should understand that the Jivatma is not part of the Sharira. That is one thing we have to always remind ourselves. And the Sharira will change. Right? It will change with age. It will change with different kinds of emotions. With all of this, the Sharira can change. But the Atma should not change. So, and that also, again, we should understand and be able to differentiate the Sharira from the Atma. And from this seventh shloka onwards, 7th through this 11th shloka, to be able to understand even more about the Sharira and the Atma and how they are different, some Abhyasa is needed. To be able to understand that Sharira is different from Atma, a little bit of Abhyasam is needed. And what is that Abhyasam? Here some Abhyasa, in what areas we need Abhyasa, those are given. The first one is Amanitvam. So here, how is Amanitvam given? Atma Shlagha Rahityam. Atma Shlagha Rahityam. So we should not boast about ourselves. Atma Shlagha Rahityam. So we should not boast about ourselves. Whatever qualities we might have, we should consider that as a blessing. We should not boast about ourselves. Why? Because the minute we boast about it, you consider it as part of you. Only then that boasting comes. Only when we take pride in something, that ownership, only then that boasting feeling will come. Of course, some might have the feeling of ownership, but they may not boast about it. But even in the mind, it is not like you should not boast about it only with others. Even in your own mind, you should not like, because it is me, I have done this. Only I could have done this. that kind of thinking is also boasting only. But you're not, maybe some people may not be telling it to everybody, but in their mind, they will have that feeling. I have done this, only I can do this. So that is also shlaghatvam. So we should not be boasting, taking pride. When will we do that? When that I have done thing comes into the mind, only then we think that we have achieved something, right? So that itself will become boasting, and it will lead to the thinking that the Sharira is me, comparing both Sharira and ourselves as one and the same. Only then we will think that it is we who have done it. But why are we doing? What is the purpose of doing? No attachment to the karmas that we are doing. That kind of thinking we have to practice. So this amanitvam is needed to be able to think in that way. And then adambhitvam. So what is dambhitvam? Praise, expecting praise from others. One is a self-praise. The other one is expecting praise for everything that we do from others. That also one should not have. Adambhitvam. Why should somebody praise us? We are doing because it is our duty, because it is our responsibility, or because we want to do it for whatever reason we want to do. Sometimes we do things even though they are not our responsibility. That also we are doing, but there is no need to expect praise from others. We are doing it out of our own free will to help others, or for whatever reason that person is doing, But if he is doing only for praise from somebody else, then there is no point in doing it to start with, right? So one should do it out of their own free will, and there should be a reason, like how it is our responsibility to do things for our family, to take care of the children, to take care of the people in our house. All this is our responsibility in this grihastha ashrama. Like how in the Shishya will do things for his guru, that is his duty, his responsibility when he is in that ashramam, in the Vidyartha ashramam. It is his responsibility. He is not doing any favor to the guru. That is his responsibility as a student. Similarly, in Grihastha ashramam also, we have certain responsibilities. So we are not doing any favor to anybody by doing our responsibilities. Now, beyond our family, if we step out and do something, there also, as living as part of the community, again, it is our responsibility to do certain things, right? We are doing, and you are required to do only as much as you can do as per your responsibilities. Shastra never asked us to extend beyond our capacity. Yatha Shakti, that is the reason why they keep saying Yatha Shakti is as much as you can do, you have to do. And if you are unable to do, you need not push yourself to do. But if you are capable of doing, but saying, this is my Shakti, so I won't do more than this, again, that is also not right. Yatha Shakti, one has to do. As much as we are able to do, we have to do. Again, not at the cost of your own health or your own resources. So as much as we are able to extend, we can extend. And that extension can be even outside to our family. It need not be limited only to the family. When a person is really in need, and if he's struggling, say for example, you're walking and you find a person who is unable to move, and they are thirsty. So it is our responsibility as a human to give water to that person, right? So there also, again, it is our responsibility, because we are in a capable position and that person is not in a capable position, and Yatha Shakti, we are able to bring the water to him, we can bring the water to him. Like that. So it need not be confined only to our family. Even outside of the family, whatever we are able to extend as per our capacity, we need to do. And as a society, that is again also our responsibility. So for that, we need not expect praise from others. So we are doing because it is our responsibility. So adambhitvam, should not expect praise. And then the third one is ahimsa. Ahimsa is again need not be only killing of something or somebody, even with vak, even with small cheshtas. You can hurt others, right? That is also considered as ahimsa. In one of our previous adhyayas, we studied about what are all the ways the ahimsas are. There is a big list of things that are considered as ahimsa. Okay, in that this vak and cheshta were also there. This when people are conversing, many times they do this sarcastic comments, right? So that is again considered, if the other person is hurt because of our words, then that is considered ahimsa. Similarly, cheshta. With your actions also, sometimes we can hurt others. That is also considered as ahimsa. So ahimsa need not literally mean only killing of somebody or killing of something. It can also, any kind of hurt that we cause to the to another jiva can be considered as ahimsa. So that should not be there. And why will somebody do that? With each of these, we have to think why these are suggested. Why should we practice these? Because again, when you are hurting others with your cheshta or vak, what is the intention? 1 minute we have to take time and think, why did I say this? I know that when I say this, that other person will be hurt. But why did I say this? If we think, we will get the solution. Either we are angry with them, right? Or we are jealous of them, or we are they did not do what we wanted them to do, which is ahankara. So these are the things which will lead us to that point where we say things that are hurtful to others. Similarly, cheshta. When we are giving something, when we are angry with them, we kind of like throw rather than give it respectfully, right? Why? Why such things we are doing? If we take a minute and think, we will get the answer. It is because I am angry. Why am I angry? Again, we discussed this also many times. A person will get angry only when he has a desire which is not satisfied. I wanted that person to do something, that person did not do, so I get angry. Or he brought loss to something of mine. Like say for example, the driver took my car and he made a big dent on it. I will get angry. Why did I get angry? Again, here also there is a justifiable reason. There could be a justifiable reason, but that justifiable anger, we have to address it properly. Say, for example, he genuinely, unknowingly put a dent on it. So we have to understand the reason. If that is really genuine, to make mistakes is a human nature. So we can consider that, and we have to find a midway solution about how to deal with it. But sometimes without if that uncontrollable anger, even when there is a justifiable reason for that mistake that other person has made, then that will be because of the attachment that we have with the car, right? So we are not in a position to even understand why that dent was made. No matter what, we look at it as a terrible mistake and we get angry and we do all sorts of things. So that is why, because we are very much attached to that thing. Even when somebody breaks a glass or something in our house, if the maid does that, we get angry on them. Why? Again, there also, of course, as a woman, I can understand that sometimes they will be very careless, and so that will definitely trigger to become angry. But then we have to find a solution to avoid such situations, a constructive way to handle such things rather than simply getting angry every single time. So by doing that, by understanding why we are getting angry and finding a constructive solution, we will stop reducing, or we will reduce the number of times that we are doing this ahimsa. Because if that other person is incapable of handling things properly, then it is our mistake to repeatedly ask them to do the same thing. We know that they are incapable. Like, say, for example, giving child something that breaks. Will we give a child something that breaks? We don't, because we know that they cannot handle that. Similarly, even with people, sometimes there are things that they cannot handle no matter what. It is their incapability, and why they are so incapable is a different thing. We don't have to look at it. But once we understand, after it happens several times, we understand that that person is incapable of handling that particular job. So then simply removing that person from that kind of job is the best way. So we don't have to do this ahimsa every time he breaks something, we getting angry and upset. All this we can avoid.
Excuse me, Mahodaya.
Yes.
Suppose in daily chorus also, some people, if we do not shout on loudly, they cannot understand at all. But we have to make them to understand. So for that, we have to shout on them. Then what should we do?
So basically, that is a very genuine question, and that is something we all face in at one time or the other. One thing we have to understand why that person is not doing, and every day why are we having to repeat this? Again, there also there are two solutions. Either we have to literally be behind them and get the job done. We have to monitor so that they need that constant monitoring. So we have to be there and make sure they are doing how we want it, so that we don't have to shout at them. Or we have to sit and talk and understand why they are doing. But in spite of all this, I have also experienced where they, again, in the very next day, they will repeat the same mistake. I also totally understand. So what I did was, I stopped expecting anything from them. I literally stopped any kind of expectation. So what I started to do was, write down, like, in very detailed manner, explain it to them, and only one task at a time. If I tell them 4 tasks, they will forget anyhow the 3 tasks. Only one they will do. So telling them one after the other, or making a list, writing down a list of things that they need to do, and asking them to check on that before they leave. That is another thing, because we cannot monitor them every single day. And then again, reminding, several reminders to be given. Again, this method may not work with everybody. With everybody, we have to understand what kind of person they are and what their problem is, or why they are able to do or not do. And accordingly, we have to change our what do you say, technique to make things work with them. But no matter what, it is becoming very difficult for 2 reasons. One, this in this generation, even with generations, like these helpers in the previous generations were not so hard to deal with. Now it is becoming very hard for 2 reasons again. One, what I would say is, like how even among everybody, the energy levels in the body are coming down because of the pollution in the food, air, and water. Even we are not as strong as our grandmothers. And our mothers are not as strong as grandmother, and we are not as strong as our mothers, and our children will not be as strong, or they don't have as much of immunity
Patience.
as we do.
Yes, yes.
Right? So
Yes.
in the workers class also, it is becoming like that only. In the workers class also, they are unable to, even they don't have patience, even they are unable to do, because things have changed, and their attitude is also changing, because the government is making them lazy by giving all these free money and all this. So they are like, even if I don't work, I get a minimum of this much money. And sometimes if they claim as an unemployed person, they get more than what they get if they are working for some little money. So that is also becoming, making them lazy. And they are like, why should I work so hard, when I'm going to get this money for, even if I don't do anything. That attitude is also there,
Yes,
definitely.
ultimately it has become their habit.
It has become their habit.
Ignore our
And another thing is, what I have noticed is, back in those days, there isn't these many kinds of items which are distracting to the people, like whether it is items that you use at home or for eating items or everything. So they, back in those days, whether a person is rich or poor, their lifestyle was almost the same. They used to eat almost the same food and almost the same type of clothing and all that. But now
Yes.
what is happening, from starting from clothing to the food that they are eating to the places that they are living in, everything is available in all ranges. So people are wanting to spend and enjoy. That enjoying concept is coming. That also is coming in the next shloka, the meaning of enjoying. People are unable to understand what enjoyment means. They are thinking eating some street food is a kind of enjoyment.
Yes. Very
Wearing all kinds of clothes is an enjoyment. So they are buying, and because they don't have money, what they do is they buy, something that looks like, especially in saris, everything is imitation, and something that is available for 10,000, the
Yes,
same type
yes.
is available even for 500.
Yes,
So they
yes.
want to wear that, what looks like what that person wore, and since they cannot afford, they are buying. And what they want wear today, tomorrow they don't want to wear. This kind of attitude also has developed among the people. So because of all this, it is becoming difficult to manage people. And everybody wants that quick money. They want to buy not only smartphone, iPhone. Not only smartphone, they want iPhone, even the
I,
workers. So it is like that brand thing and that status thing have reached even the lowest class. Even
yes,
when they are not able to afford, also they want it.
yes,
So
yes.
what are they doing? They are resorting to cheating. So when something is available for when something is worth, say for example, 1,000 rupees, they are trying their luck. Okay, let us see. Maybe this person doesn't know the value. I will say 1,500, and so they say this is 1,500. And if that other person has some knowledge and tries to reason it, they will say, "Oh, no, no, no. Normally, what you get for 1,000 rupees is only of this quality. This is of greater quality, whatever." However they are trying to manipulate the other person. Why? Because that little extra money will help them get all these other things, which are really not useful, but they want it. And they are thinking that is giving them happiness, and they are thinking that is the happiness that everybody is living for. They are not realizing that the actual Ananta Sukham is something different from the Sukhams. In the very next shloka, we are going to get that Indriyartheshu, that in that shlokam itself, it is explained. The same exact thing is explained. So people are resorting to these Indriya Sukhas, mistaking it for the real Sukha, because they say, what is life for? To enjoy. And we are enjoying. So there is nothing wrong with it. So this kind of lifestyle is okay, because that is what one has to do. They have to enjoy. But they are the biggest mistake that is happening is they are mistaking the Ananta Sukha to this Indriya Sukham. And what is this Indriya Sukham? This today you wanted a smartphone, you bought. Of course, you got that Sukham. But after 6 months, that another model comes into the market. Then looking at it and looking at your phone, that Sukham is no longer there. Now your manas is telling there is something better than this. So then again you want that. So whatever Sukham you had 6 months ago is not there now. Again now your indriyas are driving you to get that other new object. So until then you are having dukkham. Only when that other thing comes, you will again have sukham. So this is a cycle. So that person can never be happy. Only temporary sukham. But he is not realizing that. At every time he thinks, after this I will be happy. After this I will be happy. He is not even able to think a little far that so this next model that I buy will only give me temporary sukham until another model comes. That much thought also he is not putting. He is only very much limited to this 6 months only. Right now, I want to be happy. This will give me happiness. That's all. Everything is about right now. So they are unable to think beyond that because they are caught up in this cycle. And how to get that? You need money. And how to get money? You are trying to cheat people. By cheating people, you are temporarily getting that item that you think will give you sukham, which is giving you maybe sukham, but that is not the real sukham, again, which they don't know. They are not even taking time to understand that. Rather than saying they don't know, it is because they are not taking time to understand that. So this is a big cycle. So how to come out of that cycle? So for that, we have to, here it is given. So we have to take time. When I think that I want something, why I want that? We should be able to have a clear understanding of why we need to have that. So again, coming back to this with vak and all that, hurting others with our vak and all that, there also we have to learn to be patient. Again, why? Because for the same reason, if they are incapable of doing, they are incapable of doing. So we have to find a solution where we are able to do something without so much of dependency on others. Maybe we have to simplify to the point where that kind of dependency is not there. So we won't get, when we don't get the right help, we are not so much frustrated, right? Maybe everything, that is a question that puzzles me also. But what to do? So I keep thinking that we have to simplify to the point where we shouldn't be in that position where if somebody is not able to do, we should either be able to do ourselves, or we should
Keep
uh,
quiet. Ignore them.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But again, that is also not easy. Why? Because there are certain things without which we cannot
Manage.
because when we are living in a society, that dependency will be there. We cannot simply say that we should not have dependency. Like the government, for example, we are dependent on the government. In a society, I cannot say, I don't want to be dependent on the government. I cannot say that. So, and because of the government and because of the decisions that government is taking, it is affecting my life also. So this is the cycle, definitely. We cannot completely rule out the dependencies, but at least as much as we can avoid, to keep our peace of mind, we have to try and practice that. That is how I feel. And another thing, the reason why we need to work on it is because we need to keep our body and mind healthy, so that we will be able to withstand the stress that might come our way, or whatever is needed for us to do by ourselves. See, say for example, a person does not take care of himself, financially or physically or any which way. Then what is going to happen? He cannot take care of himself. He is dependent on somebody. That somebody may or may not be able to take care of this person. If you yourself are unable to take care of yourself and you end up in that position, we cannot expect somebody else to take care of that person. That is what I keep telling many people who are unable to focus on taking care of their own health. Not that I am perfect, I keep telling myself also that, but that comes to my mind every time when we neglect doing something. Like we are supposed to do some exercises, we don't do that. So then again, I keep reminding, no, we have to do this. Why? Because only if our body is healthy, because we don't know how long we are going to live. Sometimes we will live for a very long time, but if the body is not maintained in proper health, then how are we going to um, lead that life? So that dependency will come. But again, back in those days, that kind of dependency, even though it was there, it was very easily done, because the family life back in those days was different. So even if a old person was in the house and was dependent, it was not a burden on one person. Everybody used to take a share, and everybody used to together do everything. So it was not burden on one person. But now the lifestyle has changed. So taking care of a elderly person who is bedridden will automatically become a burden on only one person most of the times. And that person may or may not be able to take care because of their own health issues. So many such things because of the lifestyle changes have come. So we also have to change our, lifestyle according to our limitations, according to our limitations, without trying to decrease the dependency as much as we can, so that this situation will not be there. This situation will not be there. That definitely is one thing. The only solution, at least I found, was okay, I have to cut down, downsize as much as possible to the point where we can reduce the dependencies on others. And when will we be able to cut down? Only when we cut down our attachment with materialistic objects, right? If we want a big house, definitely it will become a dependency on workers. If we don't have workers, then the smaller the house is, the easy it is for us to maintain,
Yes.
even by ourselves also. Similarly, in everything, if you think that way, automatically that dependencies will come down. And how can we do that and be at peace? By bringing in that detachment. Bringing in that detachment with the materialistic objects, it will become easy for us to downsize ourselves, our needs.
Yes.
So that comes in the actually next shloka, but here we have ahimsa, and after that kshantihi, which is forgiveness. So again, forgiveness is a blessing. It is a bliss and a blessing. The minute we forgive somebody and take it out of our mind will be at complete peace. The more we hold on to something that hurt us, the more toll our body and mind will take. The other person, it will not affect in any way. So even when somebody hurts us, we should be able to let go of that hurt, of that hurt. And again, there are several ways which we can do, depending on that particular situation. Either we can sit with them and talk and sort it out, or if there is no such opportunity to talk and sort it out, we have to learn to let it go completely. Okay, but I told it in a very simple way. Depending on the situation, that will be dependent on the situations and the person and the kind of relation that we have with them. But whatever it is, what I have learned is letting go is the best way to deal with it. Let go, let go, let go, as long as it is not a threat to your own life. If it is a threat to your own life, then we have to do something about it. Not only threat direct like physical, even if it is going to be a threat to your health, either physically or mentally, then also we have to do something about it. But otherwise, letting go is the best solution. So kshantihi. And then arjavam. What is arjavam? What is arjavam? Is avakratvam. So without vakratvam means vanchanam, means we should not cheat anybody, vanchanam. So
To be
arjavam.
straightforward.
Yes. So many times this has again become a very common practice with especially with people who do business. They are trying to sell their own product. They definitely give in to this many times. That vanchanam. So they promise you one thing, what they give you is totally different. So that should not be there. Some people also do this to get their things done their way, manipulating people. That is also not good. So that is arjavam, without vakratvam. And then acharyopasana. Of course, acharyopasana is very important because of our gurus only we attain knowledge. So by serving them, that will be like a blessing where we will be blessed with even more knowledge, is how we can look at it. And then shaucham. Shaucham is like shubhram, but not only the physical and manasika shaucham. So manasika shaucham is again thinking ill of others. In that way, we can look at it. And Shubhram in the Shariram is not only the physical dirt. There are some practices that we do. There are some practices that we are supposed to do. And even when they are not done, it is considered as Ashubhram. Like there is a story also pertaining to that, where a particular Munikumara, he's after his Vidyabhyasam is over, he will ask the Guru, I want to give you some Guru Dakshina, please tell me. So the Guru says, I really don't have anything that I need. You don't worry about it, you just leave. So the Shishya also wants to continue into the Grihastha ashrama. So he wants to go. But before going, he wants to show his Guru Bhakti by giving some kind of Guru Dakshina. But the Guru is like not at all interested. He says, I'm not expecting anything from you, so you don't have to worry about it. You leave. But this Shishya is not leaving. So he says, okay, then you stay in the Gurukula. So then again, the Shishya is in a dilemma. He will stay for a while and then he's like, he actually wants to leave and start his Grihastha ashrama. But now the Guru asked him to stay. So how long is that going to be? That is a big question. So again, one day he will go and ask, please tell me something that you like. I will get it to you and I will become free from my Guru Dakshina. And then I want to move on. So the Guru says, see, I have nothing that I want. Okay, since you are asking so much, go and ask Guru Patni, my Patni. If she has something that she wants, then you can give it to her as my Guru Dakshina. So he goes to the Guru Patni. So the Guru Patni says, very nice that you came. This is the right time. I am actually planning to do a vratam. And for that vratam, I want to wear some kundalas. And those kundalas are with the queen of Pausha king. So I want those kundalas. I want to wear those kundalas for this particular vratam. So, but the vratam is not very far away. Just in 4 days, I am planning to do that vratam. So you have to bring, and remember, since you asked for something that I want to be free of your Guru Rinam, this is the only thing that is going to make you free. Guru Runa Vimuktaha. Okay? And within 4 days, you have to bring. Only then you will be free. So now he will start rushing to go to that king and ask the queen and bring. So on his way, again, always in our Puranas, there will be these testing, right? And why all these are there is again for us to have an understanding of why certain things are important. So on his way, as he is going, Indra disguised as a sadhu, he will come on a bull and ask this Shishya to eat the dung of that bull. So this Shishya says, see, I am going on some important work, so please don't disturb me. So then the Indra will say, no, I know that you are going on some important work. If you eat this, then you will definitely, your work will become accomplished. So then he says, okay, okay. So he will eat the dung. And then, so there is a achara or a ritual that when somebody eats something, you have to drink water. After eating something, without drinking water, you cannot complete it. And when you are drinking water, you have to sit. This is more like an achamanam rather than simply drinking water. So he will, since he was in a rush, he will drink that water or do that achamanam standing only, and he will go. So he will reach the king's palace. He will go, he will greet the king, and the king will ask, because the Munikumaras or the rishis, they will not go to king's palace only without any work. They will go only when there is something to be done. So the king will ask, okay, what brings you here? So the Munikumara explains the whole story and he will say, So I need these kundalas of the queen for my Guru Patni. So he says, okay, no worries. I'm right now busy with something. So you can go directly into the palace. You can ask the queen and she will give you. So the Shishya goes into the palace, but there he will not find the queen. So he will come back and say, he's now a little restless. So he will come back and say, the queen is not there. You sent me in, but I couldn't find her anywhere. So the king says, no, 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 the queen is there. I am very positive that she is there. If since you are saying that you couldn't find her, the only thing I can think of is my queen is a pativrata. She cannot be seen by somebody who is not Shuchi. So there is something that you have done which made you Ashuchi. So then the Munikumara starts thinking, and then he will remember that he did not sit while taking Achamanam, which is considered to or which makes him Ashuchi. So then he will tell the same to the king. So the king will say, no worries, you can go. Our people will give you water. You can wash your hands and feet and then take Achamanam, sit and take Achamanam. And then that dosha will be gone and then you go for the queen. So he will do that and then he will go inside and then now he will be able to see the queen and the queen also will be very happy to give the kundalas and he will take the kundalas and come back. So before leaving, the queen says, there is a Takshaka. I'm not sure who Takshaka is exactly. I think it is some Naga Sambandita Prani.
Takshaka is a Sarpa only.
Yes. So the Takshaka is also looking for these kundalas for a very long time. He is looking for an opportunity to steal them. So don't put them on the ground at any cost. If you put them on the ground, Takshaka is already waiting to steal these. So your vratam, like you wanting to give this to your Guru Patni will not happen. So you be careful. She will tell that and send. And then he will go. But because it is a journey by foot, he has to go do something like Kalakrityams and all, and he cannot be holding that. So he had no option but to put them on the ground. And like that, Takshaka will come and snatch them and go. And then again, so that Takshaka, because it is a Sarpa, it goes through a hole into the earth. And then this Shishya will go through so much of trouble to bring them back to the Guru. He also has to, and he is a very tapashila, so he has some tapashakti and all. With that, he will not give up. He will not give up. He will go and get them back. So in this, we'll see that how the Shaucham is important. And then the next one also. What is the next one? Shaucham and Stairyam. The Stairyam. That Stairyam comes where how he gets them back from the Takshaka. Okay, he needed a lot of determination to go follow no matter what kind of problems he faces on the way. He will still go ahead with a lot of courage and then he will bring it back and give to the Guru Patni and he will become free of his Guru Dakshina. So even such small things. So why that Shaucham is important? Here for us in today's life, it might feel that small, how can such a small thing become a Shaucham and all, especially with our today's, how the lifestyles are. But back in those days, that is how it is considered. And even today also, even in today's world also, to some extent, certain rules have to be practiced. And why all those rules are given is, again, it is not mere religious ritual or anything, but they will help digest better. Whatever, like you have to sit on the floor and eat, not standing and eating or sitting on a chair and eating. Why did they have that habit? Is when you sit and eat, you cannot eat more than a certain amount. So that mitaharam will automatically be implemented. When we are standing or sitting in a sofa and eating, we won't know how much we are eating also. So by sitting on the floor, obviously, we have to bend forward to eat. right? A little bit we have to bend forward to take the food and put it in our mouth. So after we eat a little bit, we cannot bend because our stomach is already a little full. So we cannot bend more. So we feel full and we stop eating. So why such rules like you have to sit and eat, you have to sit and drink? The reason behind all these will be something like this. We may not know reason for everything. This much we know. So like this, we have to have that faith that if that rule is there, there is a reason behind it and follow it. So, and that this Shuchi and Ashuchi, why, how can one become Ashuchi when you are eating more than what you need? Obviously, it will not be digested completely. So, if it is not digested, then, the food is rotting in our own body. So, how can that be Shuchi? And when the body is not free, your mind is also not free. You cannot focus on anything. So the body is struggling to clean up whatever is undigested and all that. So there is no focus. The mind also cannot focus. So there are so many things related between the body and the mind, and if we are not following the rules of how to maintain a healthy body, then that is the reason it will lead to other diseases and all that. So this is all interconnected, but very scientifically given and all this. So this Ashuchi, we can look at it in that way. Okay. This is to explain specially to this younger generation, because they will in a minute just put it aside. If somebody drinks water simply standing up, how can that be? There is no logic in it. Like this, there is a good chance for people to think it that way. But it is not that superficial, that just one incident that we should take. We should understand the science behind it, why it was told, and then we will be able to understand the importance, the significance of this particular story.
Practice.
And the practice, yes. So like that, here we have Ashuchi and Stairyam. So those are the things that are covered, right? Amanitvam, Adambhitvam, Ahimsa, Kshantihi, Arjavam, Acharyopasanam, Shaucham, Stairyam, Atma Vinigraha. So what is Atma Vinigraha? Vashi, to become Vashi of your own Indriyas. Atma Vinigraha. So it is here, what is it given?
Indriya Nigraha.
Indriya Nigraham. So that is where we come to. Before Indriya Nigraham, Indriya Vairagyeshu, before that also this is there. Yeah, basically Vashi only. Atma Vinigraha is Vashi, having control over your senses. So this also we discussed a story in the last class where that Maharshi was doing the tapas, and a hunter keeps asking him, and a tiger comes and all that, right? So there, what did we learn from that story is, what should we understand from that story is that a hunter, he very much wants to learn what this Maharshi is doing. So no matter what happened to his body, he was still able to focus on what he wants, rather than simply giving up, right? Than simply giving up. And this particular Maharshi also, the minute he realized that this place is not working out for him, he left it. He left that place, moved forward, and found a place where, that was a hint for him. Because a Maharshi, when he's a Rishi, any Rishi, if he is doing tapas, the environment around him should also get that calmness. If it is not, then there is some dosha in his tapas. Something is not correct. Something is not being done correctly. And what does tapas always is about some kind of nigraha, right? You are focusing on one thing. And to forget about the tapas people do for some boons and all. Normally, the rishis will do tapas not for some kind of boons and all. It is to overcome, it is like more like a meditation. You are trying to overcome certain things, some abhyasa they are doing. The purposes and the reasons can be different. So this particular Maharshi, he clearly understood when the tiger is coming so fiercely, then that Vatavaranam still is not according to how it should be. So when you understand that here something is wrong, it is not working out here, he comes out of it and goes to a different place. So what is that story telling us? We also, when we are trying to do something, and if we feel that the place is not right, it is not working out, we have to try another way of getting it done rather than simply giving it up. That is one thing. And the hunter, from the hunter's perspective, he is ready to go to any length to be able to obtain guidance for this abhyasa. To get this abhyasa, he was asking the Maharshi. So to protect the Maharshi, he killed the tiger. And then after the Maharshi leaves, he will practice. So he will practice the Satyavratam, which he was not aware of before. So basically, that again changes his pravritti. So whatever pravritti he had before, he was ready to change it. So all these, and how can one do that? Only with nigraham, only with taking control of your manas, atma vinigraha. Like that, we can consider that. Okay, and then what is the next part?
Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara.
1 second. This indriyartheshu. So here, many times these stories help us remember or understand something, how to connect things easily. So
Yes.
that is the reason why I also try to include if I come across anything. So this indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Okay, so we have to doshanu darshanam means we have to now in this life I have this kind of janma. Okay, this is who I am. This is the kind of family I am born into. This is the kind of environment I am surrounded with. So why am I surrounded with the? See, there are people of different, in different kinds of environments. So whenever we look at the world around us, so why is that person born like that? Why am I born like this? Why is that person getting so many opportunities? Why am I not getting? Or why am I getting? Why is that person not getting? That person has such a beautiful voice, but he was never trained to sing. Now, somebody else, by default, they are into that singing, field. Like this, if we start observing things, we will understand that there is something that we have done or we did not do, which is the result of this life, right? That also we have discussed many times. It is why are we today sitting and discussing these Bhagavad Gita shlokas? Because we are blessed that that sankalpam is there. Even though sometimes people have sankalpam, they may not be able to do it, and there is a reason for that. Sometimes we may not even have that sankalpam. We don't think like I have to do this. Things come our way. Things, they themselves come our way. Even though we are not even aware of it. They come our way, and then we will we'll come to know about it, and it will lead us into that path. So there are so many, and some people will struggle to go into that path, but they are unable to. So like this, so many different kinds are happening with our janma. With our janma and mrityu. Some people have a very peaceful death, whereas some people struggle so much, right? Before they die, there is so much of suffering. So Janma, Mrityu, Jara, old age. Even in old age also, for some people it will be a breeze. They will be able to have a nice, healthy life until the very end. Some people suffer a lot like this.
It will be a curse for them.
And then Vyadhi, the kinds of Vyadhi that we get. Why are we getting this kind of Vyadhi? For everything, we have to go back and look, what kind of actions will result in what kind of all these Janma, Mrityu, Vyadhi, Jara, Dukkha also. Okay, all these we have to start thinking about such things, and because only through that we will be able to mend our ways. So in this life, a person has some kind of vyadhi. So if we think, why did I get this kind of vyadhi? So this is the kind of, maybe I hurt somebody with my words. Maybe I did something. So that is why I'm suffering. So at least by thinking like that, we will stop doing the same thing again in this life, because we don't want to have the same vyadhi in our next life, right? So that kind of chintana should be there. And then the one that we discussed earlier about the dukkham. Sukham. They want sukham. Everybody wants sukham. Everybody do not want dukkham. But what is sukham? That clarity should be there. Many times people are getting confused between the indriya sukham and the ananta sukham. Ananta sukham is which is not dependent on your indriyas. Okay, it is not your indriyas that will make you feel that sukham. It is beyond the indriyas. That is why it is permanent. Whereas the indriya sukham, you eat something, you become happy. That is indriya sukham. You feel something, touch something with your body, and then you feel happy. That is indriya sukham. So all these are indriya sukhams. So we have to go beyond that indriya sukham to obtain that ananta sukham. And why? Because again, the indriya sukham is only temporary, which will lead to dukkham again. And then we will not understand why we are obtaining this dukkham. So when we have dukkham, we have to analyze that also. Why am I sad now? Then you will understand. When we look internally, and if we find that we are sad, we will understand why we are sad. That we have to do abhyasa to come out of it. So when will people be sad? When they lose someone that they love, when they lose something that they like a material object, and when they are cheated by somebody. Like this, there are some things which will make us sad. For everything, there is a solution. So what is Paramatma saying again and again and again? No attachments. If we do not have attachments, we won't be sad. Okay, we won't be sad. Even if we lose a loved one, we should not be that sad. Of course, a little bit of sadness will be there. Why? Because we are used to them. We will miss them more than sad. We can say that we will miss them, because humans are habituated. Like not only humans, even other animals. We have this habits, right? So we are used to a certain routine, and suddenly if that changes, sometimes we miss it. Even that is a kind of attachment. Even we should come out of that kind of attachment also. So here, that dukkham, why am I getting that dukkham? Such things we have to come out of. Now, a genuine dukkham. I have tried my best in doing something. I studied very well. I wrote the exam, but I failed. So that will also cause dukkham. So then again, how should we handle that dukkham? What did Paramatma say? You do your job, you give your best, don't worry about the result. So my only question should be, did I study well? Did I study everything that I should have studied? Yes. Did I answer everything that I should have answered in the exam? Yes. So, but the result, I failed. So I should not let that result affect me, so that that dukkham is happening. I should only worry about whether I have done my best. Again, you might ask, in today's world, how is that possible? A student has studied so much, and if he fails, then his whole career is spoiled. So that is the kind of question that comes to us, right? So how? Again, why are you thinking that his career is destroyed? Because you think passing that exam, according to this society, today's lifestyle, is essential for him. Why is it essential for him? To get a good job. Why is that? And what is good job according to you? That which will fetch a good salary, or a good, what do you call that? Maryada, like a prestige kind of thing. Sometimes maybe the
Life
salary.
standard.
Maybe the salary is not very good, but the status. Of course, there is no such thing, because people always connect things with money only. So whenever they think that some job is good, it is because it has a good salary. Sometimes benefits also will matter. These are all, if you analyze like this, so finally it is again ending up in a lifestyle, which is again materialistic. So for such kind of wealth, a materialistic wealth, this boy today, he getting a good result is important for that reason. But if you look at it like this, he gained the knowledge because he studied well. He wrote also, so he has the capability of reproducing whatever knowledge he acquired. So then, let the result not be there as much as what you expected. You expected 95%, he got only 85%, say for example. So for 95%, that particular job he would have achieved, but now he is only able to achieve this job. So if he really has that capability and knowledge, somehow or the other, he will, today or tomorrow, he will come up. Maybe this particular exam, he did not score well. So today he may not get a good job according to his talent, but there will be a day when he will be able to do according to his capability. So it all depends on how we look at it. For some people, only that job is the only job a person should do to say that he is successful. Not necessarily that is that person's opinion. Just because 100 people's opinion is the same, it doesn't make it the standard. We have to fight against the society to keep our peace of mind. Many times, because that will only give you a temporary sukham. So today, this job is the top job. It is like this phone models only, iPhone model. Today, this iPhone model is there. So people who are crazy about such things, they will not rest until they buy that. 6 months later, the model changes. Somebody else will buy a new model, and now this person is again in misery. He is like, "Arey, I am not as per the standard." It is only in his mind. Who really cares about what kind of model phone you have? How you are using the phone? Are you using it for the right purpose, for your own development? Those are the things that matter. But many people are not looking at it. They are only looking at whether they are having the latest model. If they have latest model, they are in trend. What kind of thinking is that? If we also fall into such thing, then we will also become victims to such kind of dukkham. So with every dukkham, if we analyze it in such way, we can come out of it. We can come out of it depending on what kind it is. And there is nothing wrong in not facing dukkham for such things. So even if we lose someone in our family, that kind of dukkham is not needed. We will definitely miss. We have to do what we have to do. But what Paramatma says is, you have to be detached. So our journey should continue. Have we done our responsibilities towards that person or not? That is more important. You feel the sadness if you haven't done your responsibility, not just because that person moved on. We have to look at it like that person made his next move. So he left this body, he's going to go into another body. So he's progressing. If we look at it that way, then that dukkham also will not be there. But as long as that person is there, did we have a good relationship with that person? Did we do what is right according to our duty, responsibility? Did we do the right thing? Only those are the things that matter. What is the point not treating them well while they are alive and with us, and when they die, sitting and crying and saying that we are having dukkham? What is the point? It is only a show to the society. But inside our minds, we know. So we have to start thinking like this, do the best we can while we are alive, do the best we can with our responsibilities and duties as much as we can. Again, there will be a situation where we get carried away by certain things and try to may not be able to do certain responsibilities, but then we have to, that is why this sadhana, this mananam should be there. We should not get carried away. This is also my responsibility. I have to do this. So that priority, setting priorities and all that. Then when the person leaves also, we won't feel bad, because while they are here, we did everything we can, yatha shakti, to the best of our capability. So there is nothing we need to feel bad about. So all these need abhyasa. All these need abhyasa. So that is about this janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, dosha, doshanu darshanam. So this doshas, okay, why these doshas are there? What do we need to do to not get this dosha again in our next life? That kind of questioning should be there. Only if they are there, we will be able to overcome that. Vairagyam, that is why the word vairagyam is used. So in the indriyartheshu, vairagyam should be there. Means no attachment should be there. Only then, and vairagyam means, normally vairagyam word is used in a very, how do you say? Basically, it implies non-attachment. Vairagyam means not virakti, like the daily usage word. Many people think vairagyam means not having any kind of interest. It is not like that. It is, you have to do what you do with the interest, with the shraddha, with everything, but you should not be attached to it. That is what is vairagyam. Many people think vairagyam is not having any kind of shraddha on it. So at least in Telugu, that is how it is used. I don't know how it is in Tamil. Do you have a vairagyam word in Tamil?
In Kannada, it is there. Vairagya.
Yes, Bhagini. We have Vairagya means what you say like that only we use.
Okay.
Actually, in spiritually, when we are talking only, we are getting to know Vairagyam has means raga vina.
Yes, correct.
And that is the main explanation for that Vairagyam. After reading Bhagavad Gita and other spiritual things only, we get to know. Otherwise, we say Vairagyam means Vairagyam means Vairagyam. We are Vairagyam against something, not to do this, that, and all. That is not the actual meaning.
It is because of lack of interest, is how in common language it is perceived as having lack of interest. It is not lack of interest.
Yeah, one thing.
We have to.
And stubbornness. We normally say Vairagya means stubborn and not doing something, not following something. That Vairagyam we used to use in our language. Vairagyam.
In Telugu, normally it is used with the lack of interest. If somebody doesn't have any kind of interest on something, they say, I got vairagyam, I don't want to do that. So that is not what it is. That is not how it should be.
Actually, it is raga vina raga. Without raga attachment. Raga means attachment actually, no?
Yes.
Vairagyam is the tatidanta padam.
So indriyartheshu vairagyam. So in all the indriyartha, means materialistic things, we have to be with vairagyam. And ahankara evacha. Even ahankaram also we should not have. So ahankaram means my. This is mine. That is also one kind of attachment only. So that also one should not have. And then this doshanu darshanam. We have to try and look at things, all these listed here, the janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha. and see the doshas, what doshas are making us have these, so that we can correct going forward. And then we have asakti, asaktihi, anabhishwangaha, putradara grihadishu, nityam cha samachittatvam, ishta anishta upapattishu. So again, this also is very much similar to the previous one. So what is asakti? Asakti is anasaktihi. Again, anasaktihi is also a kind of detachment. You should not be attached. And then anabhishwangaha. What is anabhishwangaha? It is anabhi.
Moharahita.
Moharahita. Where is it? Ananta Sukham. One second. Atyanta, yeah, moham. Atyanta preeti should not be there. Anabhishwangaha. Okay, atyanta preeti on anything. It should not be there. All these will sound very much synonymous, but there is mild difference between the words. And then on what should you not have asakti? On what should you have asakti and anabhishwangaha? Putra dara grihadishu. So on your children, on your wife, on your
House.
Materialistic things like house, grihadishu. So you should not have atyanta preeti and asaktihi. You should have asaktihi, means anasakti on these. Anasakti means, again, in Telugu we look at it as like carelessness kind of thing. Not like that. That is not how it means. It means that you should do your duty towards your
Detachment.
to your family, but with the detachment. Why? We can always take the example of Dhritarashtra, because of his this atyanta preeti on Duryodhana. He was not able to correct him. He simply kept doing whatever Duryodhana wants because of his atyanta preeti. And what happened? It destroyed the whole Vamsham. So like that, atyanta preeti will make us blind, to what is right and what is wrong. And that also we see commonly among people. They keep supporting their children no matter how even if they do mistakes, which is not helping the children later on. So it can be with as simple as small habits or anything big also. So such things, all those will only lead to suffering, dukkham. They look superficially as some kind of sukham, but they lead to dukkham. And nityancha samachittatvam. So samachittatvam is ishta anishta upapattishu. So whether in things that you like or do not like, you should have that samachittatvam. Means the mind, you should be able to take it equally, whether it is something that you like or something that you don't like. Both we should be able to take equally.
Balanced mind.
Balancedly. And then we shall look at the other two shlokas in the next class, the 10th and the 11th.
Okay.
We completed till the 9th.
Okay.
Okay. Alvelu Bagni?
आं भगिनि। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। धन्यवाद भगिनी। सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादः। नमस्कारः।
धन्यवादः
धन्यवादः भगिनी। धन्यवादः। Class was so nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.